If you operate a local service-based business and you've ever wondered to yourself, man, I really wish I knew how to set up Meta ads. Well, you're in the right place because today I'm going to walk you through our step-by-step process on how we set up our own ads for ourselves and for our local clients here in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do here is go to business.facebook.com. There is a quicker way, which is going through adsmanager.facebook.com. If you've already set up your ads manager or you've done something with it in the past, then it should be open. You should just be able to type in adsmanager.facebook.com. It might ask you to log in. The business.facebook.com page might also ask you to create a portfolio, which you will then have to connect your Instagram and Facebook to. The portfolio is essentially what you're going to be using to run the ads from. Now, once you've done that, you should have a page just like this set up for you. You're going to go ahead and click Ads Manager, and then you're going to hit on Campaigns. As you can see, these are our current ads that I'm running. I just started running them about 2 or 3 days ago. We're currently getting a $25 cost per lead. So if you want to create your first campaign, here's what you're going to do. You're going to click on Create. You're going to go ahead and hit a lead campaign. Leads is what's going to allow us to track our cost per lead. It's going to allow us to get information to be able to contact these leads, reach out to them, and of course, sell them. So we'll go ahead and hit create. You never want to create a tailored leads campaign. The one thing that you're going to learn through this video is that we never want to do what Meta tells us to do. We're always going to do something different, and we're never going to listen to Meta. So first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and hit manual leads campaign. You'll hit continue. You can name the campaign whatever you want. For now, for this video, we're just going to leave it blank. In regards to budget strategy, this is something you can kind of choose on your own, and I'll quickly explain the two. So campaign budget means that it will essentially spread your daily budget, whether it's 20 bucks a day, 50 bucks a day, or 100 bucks a day, between any current ad set that you have running, right? And so the campaign houses the ad set, which houses the ad. So you can have multiple different ad sets for different kinds of ads within a campaign and have it managing a campaign budget, which means that if Meta finds that one ad set is performing particularly better than a different one, it's going to direct all of your budget into that one ad set. Now, what I like to do is have an ad set budget, which allows me to control the budget between each different ad set to see how they're performing, and then I can manually shut things off. If you're just beginning, I would just recommend setting an ad set budget and putting all of your ads in within one ad set. What we're also going to do is turn off share some of your budget with other ad sets. If we determine that one ad set is killing it and some other ones are just not getting any leads, we don't want our money or our budget being shared with those ad sets. So we'll turn that off. You can keep A/B test off as well as special ad categories off. Now, if you are offering some sort of investment or financial product or service like insurance, investing, anything like that, you're going to want to check that. If you are looking for jobs, if you have an ad for finding employees for your business, you're going to want to select this. If you're doing anything like mortgage, real estate related, you're going to want to select housing. And if you are a government official doing a campaign, you're probably going to want to select this. Next thing you're going to do is go ahead and click New Leads Ad Set, or you're going to click Next. Now, the first thing that you're going to see here is the conversion location. So we want to go ahead and select Instant Forms and Messenger. We don't have to send anybody to Messenger, which we won't be doing. We'll be sending them to a website instead, but we really don't want to select website and Instant Forms or website and calls. We'll go ahead and select Instant Forms and Messenger. Next, we're going to scroll down. We're going to go to our budget. Now, if you did everything right, you should have it set as an ad set budget. If you did select campaign budget, you're going to be able to control that through the campaign section, but we have it set to ad set budget, so it'll be visible over here. So let's say just for this fake campaign, we'll set it up at 50 bucks a day. Next, what you're going to go ahead and do is hit switch to original audience options. You're going to go ahead and hit further limit the reach of your ads. Meta's always going to tell you to do one thing or do another. You're not going to listen to Meta. You're going to do it this way and hit further limit the reach of your ads. After you do this, it should also give you an option to target your audience a little bit better in terms of age. Right here, like I said, now we have that option to go ahead and hit 25 or 65. For my service, because we're targeting local business owners, we don't want to work with anybody that's too old, that they wouldn't understand the tech that we're working with. So typically we target anybody from age 25 to 60. That's typically about the age range of business owners that we speak to. Again, it'll also allow you to, like I said, go through and target a specific range that you want to target here. So we'll go ahead and for me, we'll go ahead and hit like 11 kilometers or 11 miles. Typically you'll find people that are a little bit outside of that range, which is totally okay. If you're getting a lot of people that are outside of your area, it might be better to kind of scale back where you're targeting, right? Just to make sure that you're targeting that local area. And if you have an older ad account, which some of you might have an option to actually turn off advantage detailed targeting. If you have that option, always turn it off. All right, so then we're going to scroll down to the bottom here and you're going to see placements. It might look a little bit different and there should be a little edit button off the side. So go and hit that. Then it'll give you an option to select between Advantage Plus placements, which we're not going to use, or manual placements, which we are going to use. So we'll go ahead and select manual placements. You're going to turn off Messenger, Threads, and Audience Network. Then we'll go top down here. So first one to take a look at is Facebook Marketplace. And again, just so you understand, placements is where our ad is going to be shown. We don't want it to be shown on Messenger, Threads, or Audience Network, which is why we turn them off. So we'll take a look at Facebook Marketplace here. So for most services, you're going to want to turn this off. But if you run a company like a plumbing company, an HVAC company, or let's say a junk removal company where people might look for your services on Marketplace or might see them there, then we want to keep them off. For us, most of our clients or most of our ideal customer profile is not going to be seeing or searching for our stuff on Marketplace, so we're going to go ahead and turn that off. Next, we'll go to the bottom here. We're going to turn off Facebook notifications. We'll turn off Facebook Business Explorer. We'll also turn off Instagram Explorer and Instagram Explorer Home. We'll also turn off Facebook Right Column. Again, some of these ones you can keep on if you want to keep Instagram Explorer and Instagram Explorer Home on. Be my guest. It probably won't affect your ads, but this is just something that I do. We mainly just want our stuff shown on Facebook feeds, profile feeds, Instagram feeds, profile feeds, and then stories as well, right? So we're also going to turn off in-stream ads for Reels. We're going to turn off search results as well, make sure all these are turned off. Then we'll keep Instagram stories, Facebook stories, Instagram Reels, profile Reels, and Facebook Reels on. After that, we'll get into the actual ad setup. So once we go into the actual ad itself, you're going to see the identity, which should be your own Facebook page, and then it should be linked to your own Instagram account. There might be a terms and conditions page here for you to view and then accept before you can run ads. Go ahead and do that as well. Then you're going to go ahead and turn off multi-advertiser ads. Then this is the fun part. This is where we get to set up the ad creative. So if you're running an image ad, you can go ahead and select image ad. If you're running a video ad, you can go ahead and select video ad. We mainly run video ads around here, so that's exactly what we're going to be setting up today. We'll go ahead and select one of the ads that we actually have running right now. We'll go ahead and hit next. It'll ask you to trim the video, which typically we don't even touch. At this point, once you have the ad loaded in here, you should have everything perfectly trimmed up and ready to go. We'll hit skip and continue. We'll leave all of this as is. Then you'll see text. So in primary text, again, this text portion is not really super important when you run ads. What's most important is your targeting and the actual ad itself. What you can do is you can go ahead and take the script from your ad, you can dump it into ChatGPT and ask it to write strong primary text and headline text that is SEO heavy for your meta ads. Typically it'll do a good job, and again, like I said, the primary text and headline stuff only accounts for maybe 5% of your ads performance, so it's not too important. So you can go ahead and use ChatGPT for this. Like I said, it's not too important. Don't worry about description, but in the call to action, you want to make sure that it is relevant to your offer. So for example, if we are a contractor asking people to get an estimate or book a quote, you'll hit get quote. For me specifically, I typically put book now, book a discovery call with me, or I'll put learn more, right? But for example, if you are a company that does a junk removal service, you don't want to hit download or subscribe. So make sure that this is correct. You don't want to have any ads that are advertising a junk removal service and having subscribe as the call to action. So go ahead and make sure that's set up too. Then you'll get to enhancements. On this screen, you want to make sure to scroll all the way down because there are a couple that are hidden at the bottom, and turn every single one of these off. Meta will typically mess up your ads. It does this all the time, so you want to make sure that you have all of this turned off. It might change the language that your ad is in. It might put text over your screen like this right here, which is what we do not want. You'll go ahead and hit done, and at that point, you should have your ad set up, as you can see it right here. So that's the ad that I run for myself. Next, you're going to go ahead and scroll down. Just make sure that your primary text, headline, and description is there. Don't worry about a description. Just make sure you have the primary text and headline set up. Then make sure that you have the call to action appropriately there. So next, what you're going to go ahead and do is create a lead form. So you can go ahead and name this lead form whatever you want. What we typically do is we set lead forms up in order of low friction to high friction. So in a lead form, the best way to think about this is the lead form is essentially how we get their contact information. So you always grab their name, phone number, and email. Next, let's say you're running an ad for car detailing. You might want to understand what kind of car they have, what year it is, what make and model it is. So you might ask those kinds of questions. And you might ask something like, let's just say you're running a ceramic coating offer, which is something that we've done for one of our clients before. You might want to ask, hey, what condition is your paint, to understand how much work they have to do before they apply that ceramic coating. So you might include an option like, brand new, pretty good paint condition, and then you might have one that says scratches, dents, bumps, things like that, right? So we'll go ahead and name this like lead form 1. lead form 1, there we go. Go ahead and select more volume on the form type. We want as many people to come through as possible. Don't worry about selecting higher intent, doesn't really do much. Then you're going to make sure that the sharing settings is restricted. We don't want people to be able to share this form around. We want it to only open up once people go through our ads. You'll go ahead and turn off flexible form delivery. What flexible form delivery does is it'll sometimes show some of your questions and not others. We want to make sure that everyone is answering every question that we ask. Then what you'll go ahead and do is, what I would typically do is turn on background image. What that does, it's not showing here, but it'll actually have a picture of your ad in the background, which makes it just look a little bit more appealing. Then typically for reading, what we can do is say, fill out a couple of short questions. Oops. Then, so let's say for this ad, what we want people to do is fill out the form and then call the business, which in this scenario, we're going to imagine that this is a local detailing business, right? So then we're going to say, then give us a call to claim your, let's say, 25% discount, right? We go ahead and put it in caps here just because it stands out a little bit more in the form. You can actually see what it looks like here. Then you'll see here, trust signals, incentives, how it works, and products, and then social proof. You can go ahead and put some of these in. Typically, we don't for a lot of our clients because sometimes it doesn't even show up for some people, but we'll just show you an example right here. So you can go ahead and add a trust signal like 10 plus years in business, woman-owned, family-owned, free estimates, things like that, veteran-owned. For incentives, you can go ahead and write something here. So 50% off. Right, just shows up at the bottom. This just helps kind of signal to people, maybe I've been in business for a long time and we have a great deal going on, right? For this specific scenario, we're not going to go into any of that and set that up. We're just going to go straight to the questions. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that nothing is optional. We want to make sure that people do have to input their email, full name, and phone number. We need to know where to email them to send information. We need to know their full name so we know who to talk to when we're calling them, and we need their phone number so we can actually reach out. So the first question that we're going to go ahead and ask here is, what is your car's year, make, and model, right? In these questions, we want to be asking questions. We want to be very lean with what we're asking. We don't want to ask too many questions because then that might deter people from becoming a lead. We only want to ask the necessary info that we need from these leads to be able to call them with some context on their current situation. Now, once you do launch your ads, if you see a lot of leads coming in at a low lead cost around 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, it all depends on the ticket of your service. If you're selling a $500 service versus a $10,000 service, the cost per lead, the reasonable cost per lead, might differ. If you're selling a $10,000 service, you might be able to afford a $500 lead. Not that that's what you'd aim for. Typically, we always aim for leads under $100. But if you're selling a $500 service, you probably can't afford a $500 lead. You probably want leads that are more around like 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 bucks, right? And so if you're getting a lot of leads at a low lead cost and you're finding that a lot of these leads are unqualified, they're tire kickers, price shoppers, things like that, at that point, you can go back into the lead form, create a new lead form, and add a couple more questions to qualify these people. And you might ask questions like intent, like how soon are you looking to get something done? You might ask a question like budget, how much money do you have to invest into this, right? If you're, for example, a financial investor and you're getting a lot of people in through the lead form that don't have any money to invest, then of course you want to go ahead and add in a question like, how much money do you have to invest into your, into your future, right? We might ask questions like 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, right? And you can go ahead and what you can do is if, like, for example, if you're a financial investor and the minimum amount that people need to invest with you is $10,000, what you can do is you can go ahead and include an option like $5,000 and below, $10,000, $50K. Then what you can do is you can go ahead and boot anybody out of the form that is below that 10K mark. So anybody that selects $5,000, you can go ahead and boot those people out so you're not having to deal with them. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add our next question, which is going to go ahead, it's gonna be a multiple choice question. We're gonna go ahead and ask, what condition is your paint in? Now, from experience, I know that this is a really important one, specifically for detailers, because when they do a ceramic coating, they're gonna go ahead and polish up that paint beforehand. And if you have a brand new car, that might take them less than an hour to polish up the paint, correct it, and make sure it looks good. If your car has multiple scratches, dents, and stuff like that, that's gonna take them potentially hours or days, which is gonna increase the quote that you're gonna get. So they need to know this information. So we'll go ahead and select brand new for people who just bought a car, which typically a lot of people who want like paint protection, ceramic coating, or work done on their car, it is a brand new car. They want to make sure that they're maintaining it. Then we'll go ahead and hit, a couple of scratches. Then we'll go ahead and hit /dense, right? Then from there, we've got all of our questions loaded up. What condition is your paint in? What is your car's year, make, and model? That's all the questions that a typical detailer would need to be able to quote their clients or their leads. Next, we're just gonna make sure this is all set up properly. So the next thing we'll go ahead and do is hit privacy policy. Now, to run ads on Meta, you do have to create a privacy policy for yourself. It's a lot simpler than you think. I'll walk you through right now. So the first thing that you're gonna do is go to Privier, then you're gonna search up privacy policy. You'll go ahead and click on the first link here. Then what you'll go ahead and do is enter your company name. Mine is Grade A Studios. And you'll go ahead and enter your email address. If you have any questions from this video, you can go ahead and email this address. From there, it's going to create a privacy policy for you. Then you can go ahead and copy that and just enter it right in there. So we'll go ahead and wait for this to be done. We're going to copy that URL link, go back into the Ads Manager, paste that in, and there you go, you're done. Then from there, this is where it's really important, and it depends on your next step that you're gonna set up for yourself. If you wanna send somebody to a booking page or set up a booking page to have somebody book their own estimate or consultation or Zoom call in with you, what you can do is hit go to website and then include that link in there, right? That way, after they're done filling out the form, they're prompted to go ahead and book a call with you. Now, if you want somebody to just call your business, you can go ahead and hit call business and enter your phone number in there. I'm not gonna put mine in because I don't want you guys calling me. I do want you guys calling me, but not randomly, of course. And so what we do in the headline is we never want to say, thanks, you're all set. Typically what I do for my clients is I do something pretty jarring. I'll do something like, wait, you're not done yet, right? It's very, very clear. It's very, very bold. Wait, you're not done yet. Then we'll typically say something like, give us a call or book your meeting for the discount or offer that you're offering. So give us a call for your 50, I think it's 25% off is what we did for this, right? So that's what it'll look like after. Then you'll go ahead and put your number in there. That'll be good for now. Then people will be prompted to call you. Then you also want to make sure that you turn off the start conversations in Messenger with leads. You want to mainly be speaking with leads through their text number, which they will provide you over the phone and email. It's going to be a much better way to reach them and have quality conversations with them compared to Messenger. Now, after all this is done, you're going to go ahead and hit create form, and then it should create it for you. Now, it's not going to let us create it because we don't have a valid phone number, but we're not going to worry about that. Next, you'll just hit close after you create your form. Then from there, you're gonna go ahead and select the form that you just created for yourself, and that should be it. From there, you can go ahead and hit publish your ads, and you should see them running on your account shortly. Now, if you found this helpful or you have any questions on how to set up your own ads through Ads Manager, any questions at all regarding ads, you can go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram, and I'm happy to help.